Hello guys, today I'm gonna be showing you how to use EasyGrass generator, and the first version, early version, I just released a couple days ago, 2 days ago, but I'm gonna be releasing another one to get all together with this video, which is the most updated one, because from the time that I released that version to this version, I've learned a lot about geometry nodes and how to really optimize what I was doing before, for mainly for a large scenes. The other the other uh, the other system, the previous system, the one that you have available now, just before I release this video, is good and you can use it. But I just realized when we try to do big scenes with large scales of grass, that could be a problem for the memory. And then I have studied and developed a way of optimization that for you, and also have a better render times, and I did so many improvements on the workflow and the organization of the geometry nodes and everything to make your life easier, and you do not struggle with anything at all trying to use it. So this is an empty blender scene. You just have the camera here in a camera collection, and the only thing that I have to do, let's say that in my scene I have a plane, right, and this is where my grass supposed to be, right, on my scene. It's just an example, right, because you have an archviz scene, so you have lots of patches with grasses here and there, right, like let's say you have a bunch of grass here, another grass here, something like that, alright? And you just want to use the EasyGrass generator. The thing you have, it's not an add-on actually, it's a system created with the native geometry nodes in Blender. So everything you're going to be doing it will be here mostly on a modifier, and unless you want to change something on the material, then you go for the material nodes, right? But that's not the main thing here. The main thing is how to show you how easy it is to just update thing and see your grass going on quickly. Okay, the only thing you have to do is go here, file, or file, yeah, so you go to append. You're gonna append the scene, right? In this case my scene is here. I just look for Scatter EasyGrass version 1.1. I name it 1.1 because it has lots of fixes and improvements from the previous version, and that makes sense because every version I will give it a number. That's my first product on this regards. So don't worry, every update I will be delivering that on the Gumroad or whatever marketing you have bought it, so you would have that available right away. Okay, you go to collections and then you see a couple collections here, but the main collection you have to bring is GN EasyGrass, because doing this you're gonna bring the whole collection, right? And what is happening here? You have your assets inside the collection, which you can hide right away. Those are the assets. You don't want to see them on your scene, so hide them, right? And that's your grass. That's your grass. Basically, this is a 5x5 plane, 5x5 meters. Let me show you here. We're gonna see that information here. Here we go. This is a 5 meters by 5 meters, right? And we have a grass. This grass is represented by default as a proxy. If you try to render, it will show you just the texture, you have in here right now, right? I will change that for this will be the default. Okay, I will change that before I upload it. So that will be the default, and I will just put this here to have better render upscaling. So that's the thing you will see. So for the reasons of optimization, I don't know what is your machine, so I didn't give by default the visualization of the grass, just a proxy, little proxy system, so you see what's going on, right? But that's not even close to the representation, because the representation is this. Like if you go to your proxy system and you turn it here to 0, you see your grass right away happening here, right? All good. This is all good. Let's say you have your grass in your scene going on here. The only thing you have to do to update your grass here is grabbing your geometry, select my geometry with the grass, and combine with Ctrl G. So everything turning out the grass, right? And then you can go here to my plane and delete it because you don't need that anymore. You have your grass going on here. Alright, so that's the default grass, and you see, right, in this material you see that we have the basic materials that I have created. Don't worry about the easy grass, just worry about the easy ground if you want to change something on the material, right? Easy ground 1 is what is going right away, is 1, which means that is the grass type 1, which is not here because there is no meaning of having that here because it's the default, right? But if you want to change to grass type 2, you just need to press it here and everything will change, the texture will change. Now the texture that's going on is ground 2, right? If you want to change to grass type 3, just press here and voila, you have your grass with type 3 here, and the material that is going on is this one. Okay, that's pretty easy, right? As soon as you put available the highest grass, you make it null the type of grass before that, so that doesn't really matter, it's not affecting anything, right? Because you are using grass 4. It will go back to grass 3 if you turn it grass 4 0 and grass 3 1, right? If you go to, it will go to grass type 2 if you turn grass 3 0 and grass 2 1, and it will go to grass 1 if you turn it all 0 because 1 is the default. That's okay. You got it? Alright. So we have the flowers, and the default flowers is 0.3 because I think it's a good amount of flowers. So it's not too much. You can see there is some flowering going on, but it's not that much. Okay? It's not that much. And we have also our barks. But our barks you basically don't see that much. You can see some of them here because they go inside the grass and they kind of mix in the ground somehow, so you have some variation. You see here some variation of little barks, and you know, just to create some more interesting vibe in between, interesting feeling in between the grasses. Okay, all right. Okay, how do you control the UVW of this material? So I've just created the Gizmos system. For who that is familiarized with 3ds Max, they know that you have a way of control the texture by the gizmo, right? So that's how you control the texture. You can scale up you know, or scale down, and you control the grass of your entire grass at once, right? And it depends on what you want to achieve. You may have to scale up a bit your grass. Let's say that you have a big scale of grass and you don't want to grass look like repetitive or something, or you want to have some more interesting grass. So you can scale up a bit more, and then you see some nice variation, you know, from far. But if you get too close, maybe it's not what you want, or maybe it is. It depends. It depends on you, okay? But that's how you can control the UVW of your texture, okay? That's it. That's pretty much it. You don't have that much. That's very much straightforward. It was 1, but I will change the default to 0 because I don't want to struggle with your machines, right? You see the 0, you get those grass which is not that much subdivided inside, okay? So you can see it's very triangular, and when you change the resolution it gets better. If you change it again, it gets better, okay? But for most of the cases, to be very honest with you, you will see the grass from this distance or something. If you have it on 0, it will be fine, okay? Or if you want to get more resolution, 1, okay? So that's very much the basic stuff, right? That's working out of the box, but you can change this, but just be careful with the density because you can struggle with your scene if you put too much density. I found out that this density is pretty cool and it covers most of the needs that you want, okay? And also one other thing is this, okay? If you want to change this texture for something else, let's say you want to have a field of a soccer field, right? Let's change this and put this into proxy system so we do not struggle that much. So let's say we select this guy. Let's remove the barks. You see the barks here? Let's remove the barks and the flowers just for now. And let's scale up this to, I don't know. That's now is what we are going to talk about performance. That happens, that improves a lot compared with the other version, right? We can go for let's say 170 meters by 100 maybe. Just for the sake of the workflow, because it is a big deal of a grass, so you want to be faster, just turn it off on the viewport, right? Because even the proxy system would take some time to update. It's not a big deal, and you know, you have a hard time to move around, so that's not ideal. Let's continue. It's better to disable from the viewport, okay? However, and then we go here. Let's see, we have this size of grass going on, and you want to change this texture. You want to apply a custom field. So you know you are on grass type 1, okay? Because it's the default. So you just go here to easy ground 1. And inside this texture node group, you go inside, and here you change your texture. And then you apply any texture you want, and the grass will just get that texture. Let's do something. Let's apply, just for you guys to see, how it goes. let's apply this texture. Okay, so now you have this going on, and then you can control it by the gizmo, as I told you before. Let's say you have this, and then we have our camera. Let's try to render this and test the optimization right now here in real time. Alright, you see the camera is even clipping because that's a large scene. That's a large scene. That's a large field of grass. Okay, and I'm playing with fire here with you guys. I don't know what's gonna happen, but I hope everything will go well. Okay, let's try to render this and see what's gonna happen. The previous version, if I try to do this in the previous version, it will hang. It will hang forever and it will never render that. So I have to redo the whole geometry system in order to being able to render those kind of huge scenes. You see? You see, the whole grass is happening here easily, and it's not taking that long to render. The scene, it's not optimized, it's a default scene that I open to render out, and still is rendering kind of pretty fast. Okay, let's see the results. And there's no such a nice lighting going on, nothing. I just opened an empty scene and then started to work on that. Okay, you can see that it could render. That's because of my denoise. It's set it up for it's not the best denoise setup here. It's right now, let me see what I have in here. Oh, come on, finished. What I have in here is come on, finish. Okay, it finished now. It finished now. You see, it renders just fine. It takes 1 minute 36 seconds just because I have this guy here on my compositor. I'm applying the noise twice, basically. Here, you know, and there. Let's say that I would use optics the noise, and I will use noise threshold 1 here to render. Let's try to render again, just for the sake of science, and see how it goes. Okay, and remember that as soon as you guys use persistent data and you do not have any other animated object on your scene, probably it will render faster. Okay, let's see how it goes. Do you remember 1 minute 36 seconds less render? Okay, let's see how much it goes now. I do not use optics that much, but I'm using here for the sake of the science. And I was using 2 albedo denoise at once. You see, now it renders in 41 seconds instead. You see? So that's what we get from the improvement of our grass system. And now I'm gonna show you the last thing. Okay, the last thing is how to paint mud and the rocks on your mesh. You have to have that subdivided. Okay, you have to have that subdivided, just for you to know. Okay, now that's what we got. Let's go out of the camera, and we will try to paint here. In order to paint grass to mud and mud to rock, we have it this here inside our color attributes and attributes, right? So you have to go to grass to mud. Okay, grass to mud. Okay, go here and use vertex painting to paint the mud that you want to show up here. So you press X so you can change between black and white. I think black is the one that it paints. That's alright. That's the one it paints. So it basically paints the mud. Okay. If we turn it, the geometry nodes on, but just be careful, right? Just be careful because we don't want to struggle now too much with our texture. So if we turn it this 0 and see in the viewport how it goes, we can see that as we start to paint the mud, the grass will automatically disappear. Okay, if we change the grass type to 2, we will see the grass is going on. Okay, and if we put the barks now going on, we can see what is happening here. We get some barks going on all over the mud. Okay, so we have something going on. And if we go flowering, we will have our flowers back. Okay, something more wild. And also, if we want to have rocks, we can press it here and having the rocks. But what happens? The rocks are still not showing up. Why? It's just because we have to paint the rocks. To paint the rocks, you have to go to mud to rock, and then you will start to paint the rocks. Okay? Alright? That's how you can get your rocks going on. And if you want to have real rocks going on here, you go and press mud and rocks. And now you have your rocks going on here. But at this point the rocks are not with the right shader, right? But that will be fixed for the version that I will release today with this video. Okay, but that's it. That's pretty much it. That's how to use it, and that's how you can get the best out of the grass generator, easy grass generator, without struggling anything. I hope you guys understand, and any questions you can email me and or sending questions to Gumroad or any other market where you have to buy it, and I would be very pleased to help you on that. Thank you very much for watching. See you soon.